What's going on, guys? Vic VP here. Check it out. On this one today, we're going to be doing an unboxing and showing some gameplay of the new Gaime plug and play light gun kit. This is the ultimate pack for modern displays. This has 2 light guns, 1 foot pedal, and 4 licensed Namco games in one. Simple, plug it in, put it onto any display up to 150 inches, and game. Also, be sure to stay tuned as I'm going to give you some details of me giving this away. Yes, I'm going to be giving this away to you, the viewer. Be sure to stay tuned. Without further ado, let's unbox this and check out some gameplay. Ooh. All right, you know the drill. If you're not following me on all the socials, what are you waiting for? Be sure to follow me at Vic_VP. There's a convenient Linktree link down below. Click it. It'll show you my website and it'll show you all the social media links. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Be sure to also like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on this Gaime complete plug and play kit. And also let me know if you want to be one of the people that I'm going to give this away to. Be sure to stay tuned as I'm going to tell you how and when I plan to do this giveaway. What are you waiting for? Be sure to follow me on all the socials. At least for the giveaway. You'll probably want to activate those notifications. Now, real quick before the video starts, I want to make one thing clear. I am not a review YouTuber. I am not a review type channel. So if you're clicking on this video and expecting me to tell you, hey, buy this, you should definitely buy it, it's great value for your money, I'm not going to be saying that in this video. I'm grateful for the opportunity that Gaime sent me out a unit. Again, stay tuned. I'll give you a little bit of backstory and such, and I'll explain why I'm really not the customer base for this product. But again, I just want to make it clear, I am not a review type channel. So take that with what you will. Will you stick around? I don't know. We're going to see. But the main objective of this video is I'm going to do a quick unboxing. Very quick. I've actually already unboxed it. I'm going to do a very quick unboxing. And the idea is to show some actual gameplay. So I'm going to connect this to an Elgato. We'll get some actual gameplay. And also, I'm fortunate enough to have a 120-inch projector in my living room. I plan to hook it up and show some gameplay really on that. So stick around. You might hear my little opinions as far as possibilities. If you wanted to maybe try to connect this gun to your PC, you'll just have to stick around. Now, if you don't know who I am, yes, I'm Vic VP, Gamecase Arcades. I build custom arcades. That's my living. If you check out my channel, you'll see all my builds. So I have my unique by Vic series of arcade cabinets. Whether you want 2-player, 3-player, 4-player, 6-player, multi-cades, you want a vertical arcade cabinet, you want virtual pinball, or you may want an actual dedicated light gun arcade cabinet with over 323 light gun games to date that also has add-on features such as Guitar Hero, DJ Hero, Dance Dance Revolution dance pads, and karaoke. Whew. Yes, that is what I do. That is my main living. I build custom arcades and multi-cades. So again, you can take a look at the channel and such. That really, if you kind of put things together, that is why this product is really not for me. This has 4 licensed Namco games, awesome stuff, and the big selling point, no sensors on the TV. But in all honesty, my dedicated shooter build that I offer, I have the 4 games and more. And I have the Retro Shooter Reapers with sliding recoil 24 volts going through it. So that's where I'm telling you that this product is really not for me. That is why I'm going to be giving it away. Yes, I'm going to be doing a legit giveaway. Details on the giveaway. Here we go. Be sure to stay tuned. Probably that's why you'll want to do the notification bell. I'm going to make a post, mostly a short, giving you some details that I'm going to say right now. But basically the idea is to go live. I'm going to do a live stream. We're going to play the actual Gaime unit. We're going to play all 4 games in its entirety. And then at the end of it, I will basically do a hashtag kind of wheel. And winner takes it. Big thing though I'm going to state is that you do have to subscribe to me and you also have to subscribe to Gaime for you to win this unit. So be sure again, stay tuned on the shorts. I'm going to be posting everything. As far as date-wise, I don't know exactly, but figure within a week or a week after this video goes live. So don't worry, there's your little hint as far as the giveaway and such. Now, I'm pretty sure there's better YouTubers and people that know how to talk properly and film a unboxing video. I was gonna do that in this video, but I said, you know what? There's people out there that will do a much better job. As I stated before, I actually already unboxed this. And I unboxed it because this Ultimate Pack came with a little bit of an add-on, which is not in the box right now. It came with like a nice stand and such. So I do plan to keep that. So if you are a winner of the giveaway, you're not gonna get that. But again, convenient instructions as always. I love it. It's got even like a nice little user guide and such. And then you have the actual game console. Now be sure, like I said before, stay tuned as I actually opened this to see what exactly is underneath this. Very cool stuff. Again, real quick kind of, Vic, how come you got review unit and not me? I did see Gaime in the summer. They were at the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo, and I filmed a video. I did an interview. We did a whole thing. It's got about, I think it's like 7,000 views at this point. So thank you for watching it. I was there for like 4 hours hanging out. It turned like to me actually helping people like understand it. It was really cool. And basically about 2 weeks ago, I got an email from Hina saying, hey, Vic, man, we love the video. Thank you so much. Please send me your address. We want to send you a review unit. And I'm like, yeah, awesome. Let's do it. So sure enough, when this video goes out, and most likely when you kind of see all the YouTubers post theirs, when you get a privilege like this, you have to follow an embargo date. So I'm filming this about 2 days before the embargo date. So when this video goes out, that is the date of the embargo. So you really can't talk or show off stuff until the embargo date. So with that in mind, that's what the whole giveaway and stuff like that. But as you can see, we have 2 guns. This is the US version. Again, the Ultimate Pack. So in the US, we only have the blue guns. The black guns are a Japanese exclusive. So you're not gonna find those with the US. Beautiful stuff. 2 guns and 1 pedal, because this does have Time Crisis. So 1 pedal, Time Crisis 1. No, not 2 pedals, because it's only Time Crisis 1. Time Crisis 1 is a 1-player game. You cannot do 2 players. So beautiful stuff. Other than that, it is unboxed. I will show you though the extra thing for the Ultimate Pack. And check that out real quick. Look at that. Yes. That is awesome. So with the Ultimate Pack, you get this like decorative stand. Really nice stuff. I mean, it's like it's gonna go on my shelf. They even give you like a pin. I have the actual pin, and it's like casing there. But that's like a little bit of a bonus. There's also a keychain. It's over there. But like I mentioned before, with the giveaway, selfishly, sorry, but I like this, and I'm gonna be keeping this. So if you do win the giveaway, you will not be getting this. Well, there's your quick unboxing. They also give you the HDMI, USB-C to USB-C, and the power adapter. This has all the region adapters as well to it. This right here is an actual 5-volt, 3-amp power brick. And I remember in the summer when I was talking to Steven, I said, ooh, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe that TVs, modern TVs now that have a USB port in the rear, you might be able to power on the unit without actually using a power plug. So I'm gonna take that extra step, as I do have, this is not included, I do have a USB to USB-C. We're gonna see, can I power the console with the TV? All right, so I have the game console right here. I'm using my HDMI, and I'm gonna be putting, again, this is power coming from the TV itself, using a USB to USB-C. I'm gonna long press the power button and hope. Awesome, the TV does power it on. So there's a plus and minus to this. I mean, basically, if you have a TV setup, maybe like a pedestal, you know, your TV in your living room, and there's a nice little counter, instead of you now pulling plugs and such, you could power on the unit via the USB port on your TV. Beautiful.
Getting started.
All right, guys, I'll put you guys upstairs now to my living room, where you could see, yes, I do have a 120-inch projector. I do have an ultra short throw, so the projector is actually down here shooting up. Gaime claims that you could play up to 150 inches. I'm at 120. Awesome stuff. Now, I'm gonna probably figure out how far exactly I am from the screen. I am capturing via Elgato, so we'll get some gameplay and such. So I'm gonna play right now some Time Crisis, but real quick, you can see there, we have to calibrate the gun. It's pretty cool to see, since I seen them in the summer, they actually fixed this calibration screen here. So in the summer, I was able to real quickly press 3 times on the trigger, but now they added this little animation that stops you from going too fast. So pretty cool. 8 points. So you're gonna take 24 shots. I have my TV volume low, but you'll be able to hear it from the Elgato. Now keep in mind, you do have to calibrate every time you power on the unit. Also, because of like height differences, later on I'm gonna get my 4-year-old in and she's gonna play. And we have to calibrate the gun to her height. And basically if I hand this gun off right now, calibrated to me, and if I hand it off to her, it's not gonna be, the aim is not gonna be that great. I'm real quick gonna take the time now, I'm gonna go into settings. So I hold down B that's on the gun, and I'm gonna enable the crosshair. Now, I did start filming this downstairs, and I said, let me just, capture this with the 120-inch projector. I'm going to just leave the crosshair on. And the one thing I'm noticing is you do see a little bit of the stutter. You're not going to see it on the actual camera, but you can see it on the Elgato. And I'm holding still. Big thing that I'm noticing is that if I aim for like the corner, especially when I was downstairs and I thought it was my LEDs, it is a little bit better, but downstairs, my crosshair was going crazy on the corners. Now, keep in mind, there is no 16:9 or 4:3 option per se. I'm going to launch Time Crisis. Right now, I do have one gun, and I have the foot pedal plugged in. To comment real quick on the foot pedal, solid stuff. And again, long wire. Since I've seen Gaime in the summer, they definitely made this wire much, much longer. So as you can see right there, you do have the letterbox. So we have the black on the sides. But real quick, I'm just going to hold the gun steady. I'm slowly moving. The blue crosshair. And as I look down my sight, like that, it kind of just sporadically went up. Yes, this is a real household, so you're going to see a bunch of toys and my dog. Awesome. Let's insert some coins. Let's actually press the right button. Coin button is on the left. Right button is the pause. So you can see that you have a pause menu. You could cancel. You could go back to the game select. You could restart the game, or you could recalibrate the gun in game. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to press the pause button to cancel. And we're going to do probably the first area. I want to make sure you see me. Yes. So I do have 2 skylights here. I have 2 windows here. Right now it's like, what, 4:30 p.m. in New York. And the sun is going down. It's pretty much down. But here we go. And I do plan, we're going to do, right now, I just want to do area 1, and I'll probably replay it with the crosshair off. I was going to see, like, can I compare, like, on Time Crisis, there's, like, an accuracy at the end of the round. But as you can see, like, I take 3 shots to shoot 1 person on purpose. It's like a kill shot to make sure they're really dead. That does affect your accuracy in the game. But, yeah. I'm going to basically play this right now with the crosshair on. I'm going to play it again with the crosshair off. And then we're going to also play on my dedicated light gun arcade cabinet with the retro shooter Reapers. So this is all pretty cool. Again, this part of the video, it's just supposed to be a little bit of gameplay. So that's why I'm only going to do area 1. The live stream where I plan to do the giveaway, we will do a full playthrough of all 4 games. I'm saying that as if it's going to take 30 minutes, but it's probably not. Definitely got to play Time Crisis, though, because Time Crisis, they are celebrating 30 years of Time Crisis, and not to mention it's such an iconic game. We got to play it. That's why I'm starting off with Time Crisis right now. Again, I'm using the crosshair, but I'll be honest, I don't really see it because it's blue. But all in all, solid stuff. It's pretty awesome. And again, 120-inch screen, not to mention, no sensors. I have no sensors at all on this. I plugged it in, and we're good to go. Now, also, I did plug it in via an actual wall outlet. So I'm going to go into settings. So I'm going to hold down the B button. We're going to do Time Crisis one more time. I'm going to take off the crosshair, though. We're going to go back, and we're going to relaunch Time Crisis. So I do have to exit, and that's okay. You can see there's also like flash intensity and stuff. The flash doesn't bother me, but you could always change it. But solid stuff. Again, 4 licensed Namco games included, and I literally just plugged it in. Plugged it in, connected my HDMI cord, and again, I have the Elgato, so that's why there's a little bit of a wire mess behind the scenes, but Also, quick note, no, this is not wireless. Somebody thought it was wireless. No, there is wires to this. You can see I do have a long wire for the pedal and the gun. So now we can see, how does this play without the crosshair? Because sometimes, yes, when you play with the crosshair on, you're relying on the crosshair. Honestly, so far, beautiful. I didn't even remember what the accuracy was on my last game, but we're going to let this play through. I'm not going to do any cuts on this. Again, the insanity of this is that there's no sensors at all. And again, I am playing on 120 inches right now. Beautiful. Yeah, that was good. I actually got him on the last shot. Just gotta love iconic Time Crisis. My 4-year-old was like, what are you doing with that pedal? What does that pedal do? I'm like, that's Time Crisis. Oh, he threw it. No. So they're a little bit, you could kind of see I'm definitely holding still. And it's just got a little, I mean, again, the crosshair is not visibly on, but you could kind of see that it went around him. But that's okay. It's A-okay. Come on. Oh, he's right there. Like, aim for the head. I got him in the crotch, luckily. Beautiful. Not bad. We're going to have to see right there. So accuracy at 36%, a minute 25. Beautiful stuff. I'm going to hit the pause button. I'm going to go back to the game selection. So that's holding down the coin button. Solid stuff. Now, keep in mind, you cannot do full screen stretch and such. We could do like Steel Gunner. Steel Gunner is a game that automatically has the crosshairs on, so you can't really do anything about that. The crosshair will be on. Very cool. You insert the coins. This one requires a start button, which they have mapped out to the A button on the gun. This, again, if you have the two guns plugged in, you could play 2 players. I right now have the pedal plugged in, so we can't bring in player 2. I'm going to probably later on get my kiddo in so I could show you the actual calibration process. Now, I'll be honest, I did do the calibration with her. And keep in mind, she's 4. So like this system, I don't know what the age range is for, but, you know, I basically had to help her aim and such. Now, right now, I'm holding down the trigger. It's very cool that they have the rumble. The rumble, there's rumble in the gun, so that's their recoil. It's a rumble motor. I'll put it to the mic. Very subtle rumble. If I'm going to compare it to the Retro Shooter Reaper rumble, it is much less powerful than that. All right, so fast forward later in the day. As you can see, it is nighttime now. I got the kiddo down. I got the dog in the cage. But basically, closing remarks for Steel Gunner. Pretty cool game. Again, the original arcade game had the crosshairs on, as you can see. So honestly, with my 4-year-old, it's really fun to play this because the crosshair is on. And while she was playing, I'm like, you're the blue crosshair, just aim. All you gotta do is hold down the trigger and blast away. Again, it's pretty cool that the rumble is constantly running as you hold down the trigger. So I don't know if you want to say MAME hookers involved. I highly doubt it. It's just basically every time you push the trigger, it rumbles. But on this game, and I believe also Steel Gunner 2, it just like, it rumbles, but it feels like it kind of pulse rumbles. So it's pretty cool. I'm gonna press the pause button. We're gonna hold down the coin button to get back to the game select menu. And we're gonna run some point blank. I'm gonna just keep an eye on my OBS to make sure that I actually have audio going for this. Point blank is pretty cool. Simple, not a simple game actually. I'm really bad at point blank. Awesome, audio is there, cool. Again, insert coins, A button is your start. I am awful at point blank. So this is actually pretty funny. When I met Steve at Long Island Retro Gaming Expo from Game, he did mention to me that Namco did not want to have players the option to enable crosshairs for point blank because they felt that was cheating. So that was pretty funny to hear that. So cool stuff. Again, point blank, I am awful at point blank, but again, it's a 2-player game. My hope is to bring in player 2. I have it disconnected now. Oh, I have player 2 disconnected. I'm hoping I can just bring in player 2's gun without resetting the unit. But obviously, you do have to calibrate the gun. So this is pretty cool. Again, I'm awful at point blank, but we'll do one more game real quick and then I'll bring in player 2 so we don't waste time. Again, big thing about this right now, I am playing on a 120-inch screen. No I failed. No sensors on my screen. Nothing at all. And it's working. It is enjoyable. Now, later on, we're going to talk about accuracy and stuff. Some things that I'm noticing. For example, with point blank, I'm going to do it later on, but I don't want to say it just yet. I even have the fan on above me. And basically, I'm going to show you that even if I hold the gun still, it kind of is moving around. Just like how I showed you before with the menu where it kind of like stutters a bit. Again, it's not awful, but a game like, for example, Point Blank, where I just had that hostage situation, yeah, I shot the hostage, but that's A-okay. Now, I would definitely say, to be safe, we're going to go back to the main menu. So I'm going to press pause. I'm going to hold down the coin button. I'm going to do it live on camera. We're going to bring in player 2. Now, normally I would have had my kiddo here to help me demonstrate, but she honestly also got a little bit camera shy. When I was like, hey, do you want to calibrate on camera? And she was like, no. But yes, so I'll be honest, when I was calibrating with her, maybe I'll try to grab it tomorrow when she wakes up. When I was doing the calibration with her, you know, she's 4 years old. So this product is really not targeted for 4-year-olds. But I had to basically help her. I had to, you know, stand behind her and kind of aim the gun because she just kind of just is wailing around. So you can see on the screen there, Gaime Gun 2 is connected. If I hold down A, yes, we could go right into the calibration. Awesome. I'm going to calibrate it to myself because maybe, just maybe, we could do some 2-player. So that part right there, I had actually pressed B, and then it came back alive. Again, 24 shots you have to do. So this right here, you know, watching my video that I did at the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo, people are like, oh man, you have to calibrate each time. It is a time-consuming thing. It is something that, again, yes, right now, if I power off this unit, and I put it back on, I turn it back on, yes, you do have to calibrate the guns. But we're actually going to do it live real quick. You're able to bypass the calibration. Like, you could skip it. So we'll see. Do you have to actually recalibrate? So let me not do that. Let me not say that yet. So right now, player 2, I can't do anything with the menu. I have to go into player 1, and then I'm able to pick point blank. So this is cool. We'll actually do some dual wielding on some point blank. Why not? I want to make sure that I get my audio. Should be good to go. Beautiful. Press A, press A. Let's do training stage. Let's do the bottles just to make my life easy. And now dual wielding, 2 Gaime light guns. No sensors, 120-inch screen. Did we pass? Yeah, quota complete. Awesome. I would kind of want to do... I'm going to do the hostage one again, but only run player 2. So let's just see how that goes. Again, for the price, no sensors on the screens. It is pretty cool. It's really cool. We're going to talk later on. Oh my gosh. We're going to talk later on as far as what I discovered or what basically I opened up the actual console. I was going to open up the gun itself, but I don't think there's any point to it. I did connect the gun to the PC, so I'll show you what exactly showed up with that. But all in all, as you can see, again, I have 2-player action going. We did point blank. I could actually do with player 2. I could do the whole exiting and stuff and the pausing, so that's pretty cool. But player 2, I can't select. Let's go to Steel Gunner 2 to end this, basically the gameplay portion of it, just to show off real quick. I'm going to have a separate video, just, you know, straight gameplay. It's going to be like, I'm playing on a 120-inch screen. This is going to be like the full, like the very long form video on this. But again, all in all, it's fun. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And again, definitely I could just bring this to my parents' house for the kiddo and the grandkids to play. And I don't have to worry about sensors on the TV. Wires are there though, so this does have wires to it. Just keep that in mind. It's not a wireless gun. Somebody thought it was wireless. Like, no, it's not wireless. Let's put some coins in. There you go. Awesome, we have audio. Cool. Last one again, Steel Gunner 2. This game does have the crosshairs. And pretty cool. Awesome. I'm also trying to do right now for this video, like if I just hold still. Steel Gunner 2, I'm actually pretty good. If I go out a little bit to the edges. Again, I'm holding very still. You can kind of see player 1, just a little bit of the jerkiness. Player 2 is actually not too bad. Not bad. I mean, again, awesome, solid stuff. I'm going to go real quick now. Let's go into point blank again. I'm not going to worry about player 2. Player 2 is done. As you can see, 2 players, awesome stuff. Let's go into point blank. And my objective with point blank is I'm gonna like just pick a game and I'm gonna just hold straight and let's see the bullet. Again, even we're gonna go back into the menu later on, but that's probably my only slight, not a complaint in a bad way, but it's something to note because people are gonna talk about accuracy. How accurate is this? Keep in mind, there's no sensors on this screen. I can only compare it to Gunfire and to the retro shooter. So right now, for example, I'm not moving. And you could kind of see that at the pink bullet, it's going like left. I'm not moving. I hope you could see me on the camera. I'm not moving. But it's got like that little bit, it's going left and right. Again, I'm gonna sound like a broken record. I'm not moving, but it still moves. Again, it's not awful, but a game such as that, for example, point blank, where don't shoot the hostage, that, you know, little one off, I'm now going to aim for the corners. Like, I'm going to aim for the middle left. Let's just see how the bullet is on that. Again, not moving. I'm just going to hold still. Not bad. That was actually good. That one stayed on. So, I don't want to say it's hit or miss, but let's aim now. Let's aim for the top right corner on this. And I'm also planning probably to like maybe put the camera behind the gun so you can kind of see what it is. But that right there, honestly, me looking through my eyes, I am not lined up at all. I'm right now shooting the target, but my bullet is way off to the right. I wasn't even aiming for the target. I mean, if I move over a little bit, see like that, I move to the left, and now it's like I'm not lined up. And I'll probably take this moment now. We'll bring the camera and I'll line it up. We'll even do the calibration on that. So it is what it is. Again, no sensors. It's fun. As far as accuracy, though, let's move you behind the gun and we'll determine that. All right, so I got you guys here. I'm basically behind the camera. I'm going to recalibrate. Somebody's going to watch this part and be like, this is not right. But let's just try to do it. I'm going to look through the camera lens and calibrate. I actually removed the recoil. Again, I am right now looking through the lens of the camera and firing. So we are pretty much lined up here. Again, shout out to Gaime. They actually fixed this calibration screen where you can't just fire too fast. Awesome. This is player 2. We're going to skip this because we don't need that. And I really want to play, like, let's see real quick. Even if I'm in the menu here, let's just try to see the crosshair. I mean, I'm right now also, as you can see, this is where I'm trying to say, I'm not moving. And you can kind of see it, it goes a little bit. Again, I'm trying not to move. It's also interesting because I have like the fan on above me and it's like, is it the fan? See, like there, I'm not bad. That one moved. That definitely didn't move. So on point blank. That's, like I said, that's the only minor thing, but then it might not be minor because somebody wants these guns for pure accuracy and such. Again, this right here, this unit, it's a great unit, especially for the value. Let's do the bad guys there. Okay, I'm gonna just keep it here. I'm just gonna keep shooting straight, and let's just see how the bullets go. Again, recoil is off. Just aim straight. So you can see it there, like it goes a little bit to the left. I'm not moving. Went a little bit left there. Now the crosshairs on the bottom right. You can see it. That's the one thing I just want to make a point of this. So again, a game like this, point blank where I'm not supposed to shoot the hostage, it's kind of crucial. You don't want the crosshair moving, obviously. Let's go to this bottle blast. Again, have you behind it. I'm looking through the lens of the camera. That's how I did the calibration. I'm going to just keep straight. See, that wasn't too bad. That one stayed. I'm going to try to go one, like maybe I'll aim for the left. We'll see how it goes there. Because it's almost like the farther out it goes, it kind of moves faster. So let's see how that goes. I'm going to aim for like here. Let's see how the aim goes here. See that? I'm not moving. Definitely not moving on that. Now I'm way off. Now I'm back. There you go. All right, so check it out. We're back in the basement. I now have my BiVic 55-inch arcade setup. I have the game connected to it and such, but I want to show on camera, I'm going to actually calibrate the gun. So I'll be honest, I started playing with this unit on this TV, and you know, this is where I kind of mentioned earlier about the crosshair jerking around. Then I decided to go up to my projector and see how that goes. So I just want to do this live on camera. We're going to do a calibration. This part of the video, I'm thinking basically I'm going to run each game. We'll probably play for about 5 minutes. And then I'm going to play the same game using my light gun PC arcade setup with the Reapers. This way we could just kind of see it. It's not going to be a totally fair comparison because I have my games such as Time Crisis set to like full screen stretch and stuff. So right now I calibrated on camera. I'm going to just keep my hand steady. So you kind of see the crosshair on the left. And it's pretty good. As you can see right there, it just moved a little bit to the left. Let's run Time Crisis. I got the foot pedal in. I'm not really going to do 2 players because Steel Gunner 1 and 2, you know, with the crosshairs on the screen, I could easily show you that on my arcade setup. But yeah, we'll take the time here. We'll just kind of compare Time Crisis game version versus Time Crisis on my light gun build and stuff. So we're going to insert some coins here. Again, I have the pedal plugged in, and we're going to see how this goes. As you could see real quick, I actually turned off a lot of LED lights here. I have this one light that's at least illuminating me. It doesn't look like it's affecting me. I had other lights, and a little bit, honestly, it wasn't that good. So I was kind of thinking maybe the LEDs, especially with my like trim on the ceiling, maybe was affecting the accuracy. That's really why I went and bought the system up to my 120-inch screen. After I showed you that you could power the unit with the USB on the TV. Again, all in all, really fun experience. We'll probably do like 2 areas on this because I don't want to waste your time. I don't want this video to be too long, but at the end of this, we're basically going to compare this to the Reapers, meaning like the size-wise, just a visual comparison. And then I'm going to tell you and show you what I witnessed or saw when I opened up the console and when I plug this light gun into the PC. So be sure to stick around for that. Again, enjoyable. I'm right now playing Time Crisis. Yes, my gun for IR sensors are on the screen right now, but there is no power going to them. So they are essentially not, they're not affecting the game gun because there's no power to them. All right, not bad. See that, like 31%, 44 shots connected out of 140. We'll do this one last section here because again, Time Crisis, and I feel Point Blank is going to be like really the only games to show off accuracy per se. Again, I'm going to just hold still, and you can see there like the crosshair is, it's going. I can't really pinpoint why exactly it's doing that, but again, it was doing that also on the projector upstairs. Again, 55-inch screen, I am pretty far away. Definitely further than what I would be using my Reapers. But all in all, again, I'm having a fun time. I'm having a great experience. But again, I'm not shooting that well, even with the crosshair on. I feel like I'd probably be shooting better if I had the crosshair off, but solid stuff. Let's go. We should be almost clear with this area, and then we're gonna go into point blank, basically. Action. Come on, get that red, good. Yes, beautiful. I got one more part, I guess. Come on. Beautiful. Awesome. All right. Awful. 29% accuracy. But yes, there you go. All right, so check it out. We're back on the Vic. This time, though, I am on my PC light gun build with Dance Dance Revolution, Guitar Hero, and all. Again, Retro Shooter Reapers. It's funny, I read the comment section on either my light gun build or a game, and they're like, oh, you know, does it have House of the Dead? Does it have, you know, Time Crisis 1, 2, 3, and 4? Unfortunately, Game only has the license for 4 games. Without further ado, we're going to launch Time Crisis Mame emulation. So it's pretty cool with the 4 games. It just needs Mame. Emulation is cool. I have the crosshair on. Real quick, I'm just going to hold still. There's been a kidnapping. It's Rachel. So you can at least see, comparing it to the game, how like the crosshair was jumping around. That right there, it feels like heartbeat movement, whereas the game was all over the place. Not in a bad way, though. We're going to start, we'll do area 1 with the crosshair on, and then I could just simply press tab, and we're going to remove the crosshair. Again, Retro Shooter Reaper, single shot. I also have the pedal on the floor. Here we go. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Oh, gotta be faster than that, Vic. Also note again, Mame emulation, full screen stretched on my setup here. Something about playing light gun games, I like that it's full screen stretch, but as you can see, it doesn't distort my actual cursor / light gun. So it's not like I'm going 4:3 to 16:9. I'm able to hit this corner and aim and such. We could kind of compare the aim accuracy to the first level. Come on, peek. There it is. Time extended. Come on, come on. Again, yes, crosshair on. So a lot of people, again, that's also Mame stock crosshair. So people will consider this as cheating. But you can kind of see pinpoint, slam, slam, slam. 66. All right, real quick, I'm gonna tab. I'm gonna bring up the crosshair option. We're gonna turn that off. And now we have no crosshairs. Here we go. Beautiful. See, like, I feel like I take like single shots and I'm pretty good. Good stuff, Vic. That was great. That was awesome. Took them all out. Forgot about that guy on the left, on the right. I'm getting tagged. Come on. Beautiful. You could also see, try to compare emulation. Again, game, you have the option to turn off the flash and such. So I don't really mind the flash. That's kind of how, I guess, I grew up with it. But again, you can at least kind of compare the Retro Shooter Reapers and PC emulation to the game. Keep in mind, though, again, I do have 4 sensors on my screen. I do use the gun for IR sensors, as they're very sleek. You virtually can't really see them, but there you go. No. Awesome, beautiful. There is Time Crisis. I'm gonna go back to the game and we're gonna probably launch Point Blank. We should do Point Blank next. And then we're gonna just select real quick Point Blank. Again, I don't play Point Blank. So whatever, we'll do like the first 2 games in the training section. And yeah, like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna jump cut. I most likely will. I'll jump after I just play Time Crisis. I'll bring in my PC build and we'll try to, you know, watch from there. Maybe I'll stack them so you kind of see it. So here we go. Let's get this hostage one. This is the one I'm having a, you know, trouble with, especially with that crosshair. But let's see how this goes. I almost shot the hostage. And then I'll probably do also for this part, I'll hold still and I'll just fire without moving, and we'll see how the crosshair reacts. Nice, beautiful. I did not hit the hostage. Cool. Awesome. Let's do, I don't know, we'll do the bottle one, and I'll probably do the same route where I'm going to just hold still and not move. Let's do that. I'm going to hold still and not move on the bottle one. I'm aiming dead in the middle of the screen, and here we go. I am aiming dead at the middle of the screen right now. It's a little bit off to the right, but not awful. And then we'll do the parachute, and we'll call it on point blank there. Same thing, if I kind of just aim at one spot, I'm gonna move over to the left. I'll try to actually play now. Come on, come on. Awesome, there you go. There is point blank. All right, we're back to my by Vic PC build. Let's go to P. Again, we're gonna load up point blank 1. Again, Mame emulation. I have it also on PS1, but we're doing Mame emulation on this. I do have the crosshairs. I do have 2 players, so I could always bring that in. I wanna do the same, well, it's different training stages actually. Oh, okay. It's gonna be a little bit hard to show that, I guess. But again, crosshair on. You can see I'm holding still. Again, no reload on this. I should have probably tested to oh, I hit the bomb. I actually wanted the same games, honestly, but this is okay. Again, people will consider using the crosshair. You are cheating, Vic. That is cheating. All right, let's tab and let's get rid of the crosshair. Beautiful. We'll take out player 2's crosshair while we're at it. Awesome. Give me this squid. Again, no need for the pedal on this. It's just a single shot game. This is actually pretty nice. I could actually... Oh. I just missed one. Oh. Come on, come on. Beautiful. That felt good. That was honestly... I could do better. I'm not an expert marksman, but that was pretty solid. We could bring in player 2 while we're at it. Again, sliding recoil on that. Again, player 2 on the right, player 2 on the left. Dual wielding. Beautiful. Awesome. Point blank, dual wielding, retro shooter reapers. Like I said, I wanted to play the actual hostage game if possible. We'll just run I don't even know what to do here. What are we doing here? I guess it's like 1, 2, 3. It is. You definitely can't dual wield this. What do I need? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11, come on. Oh, not bad. But there's a good idea of it. I'm kind of hoping that the hostage part is going to come up here. Try the beginner game. Thank you. Beginner game average. Game over. Let's see. Should I go training stage again? Oh, it does. It changes up. All right, it's different every time. All right, whatever. I'm going to bring in player 2. You have been challenged. Cool. I guess we just got to shoot the... Reload. Nope, we're empty. Cool. There you go. Point blank. Let's go check out Steel Gunner. Steel Gunner 1 and 2 we'll breeze through real quick because again, that's just a game that has the crosshair on. You know, you can't really compare. The only thing I would say is that my PC build, it's a full screen stretch. So take that info with what you will. But we're gonna enter some coins on Steel Gunner. This has a very long intro, but that's a-okay. Try to skip it, try to skip it. Awesome, beautiful. Again, Steel Gunner 1 and 2, simple game. as you have a crosshair. Then again, though, Time Crisis, I had the crosshair on, and I wasn't doing too good, but that's just probably me. I mean, awesome. That's Steel Gunner 1. Again, simple stuff. We could fire the missiles, so you can see the comparison. Firing missiles, awesome. Again, Steel Gunner 1 and 2 is just a simple game, so not much accuracy needed on Steel Gunner 1 and 2. Let's bring in Steel Gunner 2, and then we'll do probably a close-up on the guns versus the Reaper, and then we'll talk about and show you what happens when you plug this gun in to the PC. All right, Steel Gunner 2, coin up. Skip this, yes, yes, yes. Awesome. So again, Steel Gunner 2. Something about Steel Gunner 2 that the crosshair doesn't shake that much. Doesn't move around that much like the other games. But I wouldn't make that like an official call per se. Again, Steel Gunner 2. Basically just holding down the trigger and having fun. Blasting away. Cool. Awesome. All right, we're back on the by Vic. We're going to go to S. We're going to head on down to Steel Gunner. Again, we have Steel Gunner 1 and 2. Like I mentioned before, Mame emulation. I think I have crosshairs on this. I don't. Good stuff. We're going to insert some coins. Let's press start. So it's kind of cool with this. It's going to get loud. But for about 30 seconds, I'll do the full auto on the Reapers. And I will bring in player 2 for this because why not? It's a very simple game. Insert my coins, press start. Same thing, we'll go full auto on this. Again, you can see it there. I'm gonna hold steady. Again, Steel Gunner. As you can see, PC emulation, Retro Shooter Reapers. I have a full screen stretch. Beautiful. I'm gonna silence my my Reapers with a nice convenient switch. And now we could basically just game like the game. The game again had that rumble and solid stuff. As you can see again, I can hold still. Crosshair's not moving much. Very cool. Simple stuff. Again, Steel Gunner 1 and 2, just a simple game. We have the buttons to shoot and throw the bombs. I could use the pedal to throw that bomb if I want, which I just press the button there. Awesome stuff. Cool. Gua. It's a gua, gua. Cool. There you go. Steel Gunner on the PC, Mame emulation. All right, we're back on the by Vic. We're gonna run Steel Gunner 2. Gonna press start on the light gun. We're gonna activate full auto. Again, Steel Gunner 1 and 2. They already have crosshairs built in and such. Let's insert some coins and we'll get our game on. Again, Retro Shooter Reapers, sliding recoil set to full auto basically. Without further ado, I'm gonna hold up crosshairs. So you kind of see, no shaking, no stuttering. Also note the distance. I can move up a little bit if I have to. Purposely doing that. Beautiful. Let's remove the sliding recoil before I wake up the kiddo and the wife. And simple, I could use the bombs. That's button B or the right mouse click on my PC build. Awesome. Again, if I hold still, you could see there, again, holding, dual wielding 2 Retro Shooter Reapers. Not much stutter and jiggle. Awesome stuff. Not bad, right? I figure a comparison of these games versus the game to PC emulation, not too bad. Oh no, I shot the civilians. Oh no. Awesome. Again, Steel Gunner 2, Mame emulation on the PC. All right, now real quick, let's do a quick comparison of the Gaime Gun versus the Retro Shooter Reaper. So I did shoot some B-roll real quick. We could at least see them kind of side by side. you could take a look at the size and such. In all honesty, as far as size-wise, these are identical as far as length, width, height, depth, whatever you want to call it. These are identical. They're very close. Again, Gaime made their light gun based on the actual like Namco light gun. So they're pretty comparable and such. Only big thing to really note is the weight. This is again the Retro Shooter Reapers. This one right here is actually Gen 1. Gen 2 is the same, just has an extra button on it. But the weight of a Gen 1, I mean, it's very, very much different. It's not because of the USB cord, it's just the actual weight of the gun. This is hefty. This right here, I would say this is a little bit heavier than an aim track. If you ever played with the aim tracks, non-recoil, this one's a little bit heavier. Now, this is funny to record, but I did want to show off the recoil comparison. Keep in mind, again, the Gaime, it's a rumble. So I basically put the microphone and I put the gun on the counter, the table, and just let it rumble. You kind of hear the rumble on the table, and then I move the microphone close. So let's watch real quick this awkward video I took of the rumble. Now again, that right there is the recoil of the Gaime. The Retro Shooter Reaper, when you reload, it does a rumble. That's not recoil per se. So basically I wanted to compare the rumble of the Reaper, which I don't know if you could hear that right now, but versus the Gaime. Again, keep in mind, 5 volts versus 24 volts. Well, there's your awkward video of the rumble. Again, on the Gaime, the rumble is the recoil. So when you pull the trigger, it rumbles. Whereas the Retro Shooter Reaper, the rumble is the reload. So whenever you right-click on the PC, it activates the rumble, reload. But the recoil on the Reaper is that 24-volt sliding recoil. So I'm going to show you real quick the awkward video I recorded of that. Now you might not totally hear it, but yes, I'm holding down the trigger. I have Steel Gunner running, so it's just constantly vibrating. That right there is the full auto recoil on the Gaime. And now let's take a look at the full auto recoil on the Reaper. Yes, that's the Reaper. So again, you have the option for single shot. So even if I hold down the trigger, it only fires once, or you could go full auto. Just like that. So there's your recoil comparison of the Gaime versus the Reaper. Again, 5 volt rumble versus 24 volt rumble and solenoid. Now real quick, let's take a look at the actual foot pedals. Again, this right here is the Gaime foot pedal for Time Crisis. This right here is the Retro Shooter Reaper foot pedal. So I'll be really honest, I like the pedal on this. Also very convenient. It's got the nice rubber stop. So when you put this on the floor, it doesn't slide. The Reapers have that as well, but you could notice there's no clicking sound at all on this pedal. Really nice. Whereas the Reaper has a click. You could also kind of see it there. Like this is a little bit wider and shorter. This one is taller and skinnier. So solid stuff. Either way, it's a pedal. It's just a simple button. Again, this right here on the Gaime, it can only be used on Time Crisis. No games have reload, so there's no real point of using this. I will actually probably load up Steel Gunner and see if I could play one player Steel Gunner and this will launch the missiles, but there's really no point of that. Now, real quick, I'm going to throw in the B-roll that I shot of the pedals. Again, you can see there as far as when they're sitting side by side, not really one is higher than the other, so it's really great for your ankles and such. Like I mentioned, one is taller and skinnier, and one is wider and shorter. So foot pedals, solid. So awesome stuff. You're able to see the Gaime versus the Retro Shooter Reapers. Again, this isn't a comparison video. I just wanted to show off basically a different alternative to a light gun. But now keep in mind, Gaime, They are not trying to take over the light gun world. They're not trying to become the newest and greatest light gun. So it's not really a fair comparison. Gaime is offering you a plug and play console with light guns and no need for sensors. So just keep that in mind. I don't want to make this compare which gun is better. That's not really what the point of this video is. We're just talking about Gaime on this. But I just want to show off at least anybody that's thinking about, you know, the Reapers or Gunfire versus the Gaime. This also goes into the realm of modding now. Would you purchase the Gaime to mod? I'll be brutally honest. I don't think you should be purchasing this if you have intentions to mod it. I don't want to say the word I wouldn't bother, but I would not bother. For the amount of money that you're paying for this, you could get 2 sliding recoil Reapers with 2 foot pedals for a little bit more money. Now, keep in mind, granted, that's just for the light guns, and the Reapers do offer like 2 games with this little console. Whereas this right here, you're getting 4 licensed Namco games. It's not really a fair comparison. But again, if you're the type that's watching this video and saying, hey, can I get this to mod? I said it in the video during the summer, you don't want to mod this. And same thing when it comes to the console that comes with this. I don't see that being moddable. While we're on the subject, let's get into probably why you're here. What happens if I plug this in to the PC? All right, so check it out. I got my over 323 light gun PC build up on my Vic House of Rock arcade cabinet. And we're gonna see what happens if I plug in the Gaime light gun to the PC. Now keep in mind, the Gaime light gun, it has a USB-C male end to it. Most current gen PCs, your motherboard will accept USB-C. But for me, in my situation, the PC is inside the cabinet and I don't have a USB-C port outside of it. So I went the extra route and I got a USB to USB-C female. Now, I'm doing this for you, the viewers, for this part, but I did take this and directly connect it into my test bench, which again, that motherboard has a USB-C female port inside. So I'll probably show you that footage later on and you'll see what happens. But for right now, I got the Elgato screen grab going. I got my light gun connected. We're gonna plug this in and we're gonna see live what happens when you do plug it in. Now there you go. We have here setting up a device, Gaime V1. So there you go. Something is happening, and then it's most likely gonna say, because again, I did this already on a test bench, but it's most likely gonna tell me that like the game, there you go. Device is ready, Gaime V1. Now this is interesting here. Again, you could see my Elgato capturing and stuff, but if I point at the screen, and again, keep in mind, none of the sensors are on, there's no calibration software. If you look kind of carefully though, I'm holding down the trigger. And if you really look carefully at the screen, it's almost like I'm scribbling. It's almost like I'm painting, like a pen. It's like a pen. So as far as like accuracy though, and I'm actually holding still on purpose, you can kind of see it bouncing around there. Big thing though, and that's a long press. That long press for like 10 seconds activates right click, it looks like. So I didn't know that. But none of the other buttons do anything. The coin, nothing. But it's kind of interesting that like, I'm actually able to aim. The accuracy is not there, but it's very interesting that as you can see, I'm holding down the trigger and I am basically painting. I hope you could kind of see that. I don't know if you can. Can you see that? Can you? So in case you can't see it on the Elgato, I'm just gonna take my camera here and you can at least kind of get an idea. But again, it's almost like a pen. It's acting like a pen. So hopefully it comes out on camera, but yes, that's it. Now real quick, I still have the gun plugged in. I'm gonna cover the lens with my leg and now I have control of my mouse. And just for kicks, I'm gonna launch Demulshooter. It's funny. This is like dumb, but I'm gonna launch it, and you can kind of see there real quick. Pointer and joystick. It says there Tassi Denki. That is game. Keep in mind again, Demulshooter is not configured, but even if I kind of like click around, nothing's there as far as the crosshair. That doesn't move. Again, I have to cover the lens or else my mouse is stuck. If I go to joystick, there's one button. But if I actually click this button, it doesn't, I reloaded. It doesn't like change. But again, keep in mind, Demulshooter is not set up. But I don't know. Is it going to be possible to mod this and make it work with Demulshooter? I don't know. I'm actually going to take it another step further, and I'm going to launch Mame. And we're going to see, can I configure this to Mame? All right, so check it out. We're in Mame. I launched Mame. This is actually kind of comical, but I'm not really going to go up and down. I'm going to use my keyboard here, and I'm just going to press enter on like, I don't know, button 3. And essentially, even if I move the gun left and right, it's actually, again, interesting to see like I'm able to move, but movement isn't being registered. If I hit the trigger, nothing. Check this out. If I press A though, A gives us keyboard space. So let's reset that back. And if I press the B button, ooh, keyboard B. Who would have thought? Let's see what happens if I press the coin is C and the pause is Q. What do you get with that? I don't know. But again, the big thing is like I can't, the trigger is not really registering. It's interesting because in the menu, or I should say the desktop, as you can see again, I'm able to like scribble, but I can't register the trigger. So there you go. If you connect this and try to configure Mame, that's what you get. All right, now let's look at the actual console itself. Before I open it up though, I'm gonna grab my USB to USB-C, and I'm gonna power on the unit via the PC right now. So we're gonna plug this in. And if all goes correctly and I turn it on, I don't know if you're gonna hear it, but we are gonna hear a Windows chime. So I'm gonna power on, I have blue. I did this, like I said, on my test bench, and we're gonna see one thing pop up. So let's let this kind of load up. And basically on the left side, we're gonna see something pop up. Again, I haven't done this on this PC, but I did do it on my test bench. And I would assume it's gonna pop up. There it is. As you can see there, it says here A527 Pro. I did some research and I don't know, you could find some like motherboards that have this chip in it. I'm gonna let this fully, device is ready. It doesn't look like it's showing like it did on my, oh, here it is. Yep, there it is. It's like a phone. As you can see there on the left, A527 Pro. Unfortunately though, as you can see, the folder is empty. Can't do anything with that. So for the modders out there that are thinking, I don't know. That's what happens when you plug it in. A527 Pro. Now, I'm going to shoot some pictures. I'm going to show you pictures. I actually did open this. I took a flathead screwdriver. I popped the casing off. And we could take a look at the pictures, I don't know, here or it's zoomed in. But basically, you just see kind of a motherboard. It's a green motherboard. The inside, the front panel here is like a ribbon cable for these connections. There's 5 screws holding in this motherboard. I took the screws out and then I flipped the motherboard over, as you can see here. And there you go. That is what the inside of the console looks like. I'll be honest, I was kind of hoping to see maybe there's like a micro SD card somewhere there. And as you can see, no, there is nothing on the motherboard there. So you could see it there. We plugged the light gun into the PC. It looks like a stylus pen. Nothing happens unless Gaime releases like a calibration thing. That's also another thing, actually. Let's talk about that real quick. I can't calibrate. So I'm assuming that because I calibrated on the console, it knows where it is. I don't know. But again, accuracy wasn't like pinpoint on that. So there you have it. You connect the guns. You connect a gun to your PC. It looks like a stylus. And it does say Gaime V1. If you plug the actual console to your PC, it says there A527 Pro. And then as you can see in the photos, the actual motherboard, the actual console itself, once I decased it, there's no SD cards or memory that you could change that I assume you can change. Well, there you have it. That's what happens when you kind of connect the game light gun to a PC and the insides of the console. Vic, why did you do that? I'll be honest, it's kind of interesting when you read the message boards and you read the comments and stuff. People are saying like, oh, I might get this to modify. People are really interested in the technology where how is it possible that this light gun is working without sensors? So I could understand, you know, the reasoning to buying the light gun, but it doesn't work with your PC. The next runner-up as far as no sensors needed in the light gun world is Sinden. I don't use Sindens. I don't use them. So if you're looking for a light gun that needs no sensors, you could use Sinden. But keep in mind with Sinden, you need to put the white border on your games, on every game. I've spoken to some people inside my Discord. They mentioned to me, Vic, that white border, it doesn't bother me. The new advances and updates to Sinden, it's not that big of a headache like it used to be to getting 2 players to work or, you know, just getting things to work. It is what it is. I'm not a Sinden user. I've never purchased it, and I honestly never will. I do like my retro shooter Reapers. For the amount of money, the stuff I'm getting with the sliding recoil, great stuff. Keep in mind though, the Reapers and Gun for IR and Aim Track, you do need to put sensors on your screen. Now there's other new light guns coming out like the X Gunner or whatever it is, and I don't know, there's a bunch coming out. But again, this game, I spoke to them in the summer and they specifically said they are not trying to take over the light gun world. They are not trying to be the next best light gun. No, they are just offering you a console with 4 games, simple to use, plug it in and play, no sensors needed type of system. Now, real quick before the video ends, I do want to give a big thank you and a big shout out to Gaime, Steven and Hina over there. Thank you. Thank you for emailing me and sending me out this review product. I mentioned it before. I did meet them during the summer over at the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo. It was cool. I got to interview them. I got to be hands-on with the unit. I was there for several hours, and they did shoot me an email saying, hey, Vic, man, thank you so much for the video. We want to send you a review product. I didn't ask for it. I really, truly appreciate it. The really cool and awesome thing in that email, Hina did let me know that apparently my video helped 7 backers. That might not be a lot, but that was amazing. 7 backers watched my video and then went to Kickstarter and supported it. So shout out to you 7. That's awesome stuff. But again, a big thank you to Hina and Steven. Thank you so much for the review unit. But like I mentioned earlier in the video, I will be giving this away. Yes, a lucky viewer will be getting this. Be sure to stay tuned. Watch my shorts. You'll see all the details on the giveaway of this game. Ultimate. This is the Ultimate Pack too. Well, guys, there you have it. Yet another long form video. Thank you all for hanging out. And I hope you enjoyed my coverage of Gaime, the plug and play light gun console with 4 Namco licensed games with 2 light guns and the pedal. Vic VP. Be sure to stay tuned for the giveaway.